I, 29F, have been living alone in my own house for the past 3 years. I bought it with my own savings after years of hard work, and it's my safe space. I'm single, have a stable job, and I've been enjoying this independence. Life has been good, until my older brother 33M called me out of the blue a few weeks ago. A little backstory, my brother and I aren't particularly close. He's always been the kind of person who makes impulsive decisions, especially when it comes to money. Over the years, he's borrowed from me more times than I can count. Each time, he promised he'd pay me back, and each time, he didn't. I learned my lesson and stopped lending him anything, but it did a number on our relationship. We drifted apart, and honestly, I didn't think I'd hear from him again, except maybe for a holiday greeting. So when he called me, I was surprised. He sounded desperate, really desperate. He said he'd lost his job, had been evicted, and had nowhere else to go. He made it sound like he was living on the street, with no friends or family willing to help. I wasn't sure if I should believe him, but I couldn't shake the guilt. It was hard to imagine my own brother being homeless. He asked if he could stay with me, just for a couple of weeks until he got back on his feet. I hesitated. I knew letting him stay could open the door to more problems. But he sounded so broken, almost in tears. He told me he'd hit rock bottom and had no one else to turn to. I started feeling guilty for even considering saying no. So, against my better judgment, I agreed. I told him he could stay for 2 weeks, but he needed to look for a job and find his own place during that time. He agreed right away, thanking me profusely, saying it was just what he needed to get his life back on track. When he showed up, he didn't have much with him, just a couple of bags. He was all emotional, hugging me and telling me how much he appreciated this chance. He looked rough, like he hadn't showered in days, and I felt a wave of pity wash over me. He started talking about how everything had gone wrong at once. Losing his job, getting evicted, friends turning their backs on him. It was a whole sob story, and I couldn't help but feel bad for him. The first couple of days were fine. He kept saying how grateful he was, how he'd start job hunting immediately. But as the week went on, I noticed things weren't adding up. He wasn't going out or even applying for jobs online like he said he would. Instead, he was sprawled out on the couch watching TV, playing video games, or scrolling through his phone. I'd come home from work, and it was like he hadn't moved all day. The dishes were piling up, and my groceries were disappearing fast. I tried to remind him about our agreement. He apologized, saying he was just overwhelmed and needed a few days to adjust. He promised he'd start looking for jobs soon. I wanted to believe him, so I let it go, but the situation only got worse. By the end of the first week, it was clear he hadn't even started looking for work. He was still lounging around the house, acting way too comfortable. He started making comments about the house, things like this place could use a new paint job, or I noticed the sink's dripping a bit. I can help fix that. At first, it seemed like he was just trying to be helpful, but the way he said it felt off, like he was already settling in. He even joked once, "This is a nice place to crash. I could get used to it." I laughed it off at the time, but it started bothering me. Then he began inviting his friends over when I wasn't home. I'd come back from work and find strangers in my living room, acting like it was their own place. They'd be drinking my beer, eating my food, and leaving a mess behind. I confronted him about it, reminding him that this was supposed to be a temporary situation. He apologized again, looking all hurt, and promised it wouldn't happen again. But it did. 2 weeks came and went, and he was still here. I brought it up, asking if he'd heard back from any job applications. He gave me this rehearsed-sounding story about waiting to hear back from a company, and he begged me for just 1 more week. He swore this was his last chance, and he'd be out as soon as he got the call back. I agreed, but only because I felt trapped.